good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Ohm Service Live. With me, Marky, we've got BFG, and we've got our very special guest. Yes, we have Mr. Anderson. Paul, good evening to you, sir. Good evening to you, BFG. Hope you're all well. Betty's not here. He's done the Sam Crow thing. He's gone off to his bike meet tonight, so that's why he's not here with us. So he's all right. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just giving it some that nging, 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 nging. And oh, look at them.
He's hanging around with gentlemen wearing leather.
Yes, top and bottom of it. I didn't want to say that, but yeah, you know, gentlemen in leather pants and yeah. And chaffs and well, doing a lot of that.
Enjoying having something large and throbbing between his legs.
I like him already. Mr. Anderson, I say.
So good evening, chat. I hope you're all well. Good evening to everybody on the replay. I hope you're all well too.
Indeed.
Well, it's Thursday. It's a lot cooler.
Ah, thank God.
He was absolutely slinging it down this morning here. You look like I've done something wrong.
No. It was moist here, but it wasn't slinging it down.
Oh, yeah, it was slinging it down here. Absolutely. I mean, what time was that? About 2:30 this morning?
Oh, it finished by then. It finished by the time I got up, so...
Oh, by the time when I got to work this morning at 6 o'clock, it was still very, very moist. Very moist.
We do like a moist morning.
Oh, you can't beat a nice, moist, warm morning. No, you can't.
No. I could make a joke about the crack of dawn, but I'd be in so much bother. Right.
You can, Bill. Yes, you can have that time off next week. But I will be docking it from your pay. Just thought I'd let you know.
No, he keeps his spanner.
You keep his spanner. Yeah, you can keep his spanner, but I will be docking his pay.
You don't give him anything anyway.
What do you mean I don't give him anything? Well, do you think I've got all these spanners? Someone has to pay them.
What made you can walk? Right.
Thanks, sweetie. Say hello to the wonderful people in chat.
I think we ought to. Mr. Stone. Good evening, Adam. Bill Richards, darling. On a serious note, mate, I hope everything goes well for you.
Yes, definitely.
Dawn W. Huggles.
Come on, Paul. Huggles. Come on, you got to do the Huggles.
Faxi. Safe. Fee.
Huggles.
It feels weird, doesn't it, Paul? Freerider Vapor, good evening, sir.
Fist bump.
John Vaping Joker, good evening. Norse Vapor, good evening, sir. Oh, Noel's just slipped in the back door.
Good evening, Noel.
Good evening, Noel. Mark H, good evening.
Marky boy, hope you had a good day at work. Have you got a call for this?
Yeah, this.
Yeah, got a call for this.
Vapor Bunny.
Huggles. And that's what you get paid in. Huggles.
Dawn Vaping Pasty, good evening, gorgeous. Huggles. And last but by no means least, Vapor Queen Becky. Oh, and I missed out Kev WXM. I do apologize.
WXM coming to you live.
Indeed. Only weird if making eye contact whilst eating a banana. Okay, Bunny.
I give her cuddles and make eye contact. How weird am I?
I've heard about people like you. Evening, Snowman. How you doing, dude?
Fist bump.
So, let me bring you up to speed, good ladies and gentlemen. Having fought off the alien horde, the three of us were having a little chat. And we came round about when we started. So, of course, Grandpa SoulOhm doesn't fit into this because he started vaping well before the two of us. I started in 2017, and what surprised me more was Paul started in 2019.
Really? I didn't realise that.
Yeah. But the thing is, Paul's doing something that we've never tried. Well, I haven't. I don't know if you have.
I've tried a little bit.
You tried a little bit.
I'm shit at soldering.
No.
Honestly, soldering, I have practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. No. I'm doing a guitar up at the moment, and the parts that I've got I'm that bloody lazy. I've got a pre-soldered kit to go into it instead of me having to. I just make it. Don't get me wrong, the solder's good. It does the job, but it looks like a pigeon's just shit on it. Top bottom of it. So I'll be honest, I can solder, but it ain't pretty.
As long as it works.
Well, that's it. I mean, most of the things that I've ever done, you can't see it, but yeah, I never feel confident enough to do it. I've tinned me tip and all that. Listen to all the gurus, got to tin your tip and all that kind of stuff. And
Hold on. What's this tinning business?
Putting a little bit of solder on. So you put a little bit of solder onto the tip of the soldering iron when you first start. It helps to transfer the heat. You get a little coating.
See? I've always gone in dry.
Ah.
No wonder it's a mess. Michael Meek, good evening. Thank you for joining us, sir. Oh.
So I assume that you've got to be pretty a good solder then.
I'm perfectly reasonable. I can make pretty reasonable joints. It's something I do as part of my day job anyway, so it's second nature to solder.
See, that's always a handy thing, isn't it?
That explains it.
Yeah, weighing in, weighing out lorries is not exactly akin to soldering.
Becky, darling, I'm sorry. Sorry, we missed out Huggles for Becky.
Becky, Huggles!
I am a bad man.
You are a very bad man for missing out, Becky.
He's just said going in dry is never a good idea. And BFG, no wonder you've always got friction burns.
Andy Summerfield, fist bump. I'll be all right, buddy.
Dude. And Gailey. Let us not forget Gailey.
Gailey Bobs.
Huggles. And Huggles to Zan as well.
Yes, I hope Zan's all right.
Now,
I suppose everyone's going to be watching the Commonwealth Games because that's on in about half an hour, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, the opening ceremony.
Is this where we get to watch Lenny Henry drop a glorified Swan Vesta into the pit?
I don't know, but I know Duran Duran are playing.
You shouldn't have said that, dude. They'll all go now.
Well, all girls will, won't they?
Use that
I remember
boy-
at school, all girls were wooing over Simon Le Bon. Well, you
they
were
were.
going to say that, aren't you?
Mr. Meek says, hiya guys, who's the bloke on the right? Sounds like Mark, but he hasn't got an hat.
Yeah, that's true. I don't always wear a hat.
No, you're a gentleman, sir, aren't you? There are certain situations where you remove it.
Just like the socks. Sometimes there are times that you need to remove your socks. And then there are other times that you don't.
Nah. Fee was never into Duran Duran. A lady of taste.
Yeah, I was never into Duran Duran.
Who gives a flying F about the Commonwealth Games? Duran Duran's fans are grannies now. Bill, we're old farts.
Yeah, we're the granddads then.
Come on, dude. So I'm getting back to your building repertoire, Paul. I believe you've got the prototypes sat in front of you. We actually got to handle this at Expo.
Look at that. So come on then, you're gonna have. We'll get into it straight away. Right, you only started vaping in 2019.
Yes.
How did you go from there to make your own mods?
I've been into woodwork as a hobby for a while. Looked around, thought, what, I really would like a wooden mod. And then I looked at how much they cost. And when most of them that I was looking at were £200, £300, £400, £500, I thought, I can't do that. So left it for a little while, watching YouTube, and came across Sheldine mods, and sort of seeing her do updates on the builds that she was doing, and I thought, actually, I've got all the skills it takes to make the mod. I just need to do it. So I sat there and I actually requested the parts that I need as a present for my birthday. And my sister bought me the parts, handed me a bag, said, I've got no idea what I bought you, just what was on your list. Have fun. So I made that mod. And I took pictures, posted on Instagram while I was doing it. And other people started saying, well, how much? Can you make me one? Will you do it? And I'll be honest, at first I didn't really take anyone seriously. Just thought, people are being nice, getting some nice comments on it. And it was actually Jay, Hooked on Funk, who contacted me and said, no, look, I'm really serious. What do you need to get started? I'll send you a deposit so you can buy the parts. Will you make one for me? And that was the first one that I made for someone else. And I've done another handful since then, and build stands and storage stands and various other woodworking vape related projects for a handful of people. And it's just kind of gone from there.
So when you first started vaping, what was your first setup?
My first setup was I borrowed a kit off somebody, and it was a Pulse 24 dual coil gripper on an iJoy 220 watt box mod.
Cool. That's a proper way to start vaping.
So that was where I started. And, I messed around with a Cigalike years ago. Never could make it work for me. Messed around with one of the Ego type ones a few years after that, and that went in the bin within an hour. And I thought, I've seen people with the big 1-inch diameter tanks and the big boxes, and thought, that's interesting. Maybe I could make something like that work. And somebody loaned me a setup, and I got it, and I coughed my guts up, and I googled how to vape without coughing my guts up, and I learned about replacing the coils and about different juices, and I think I just invested so much time and effort into researching it that it got me hooked. And I found the YouTube community, and after a few weeks I accidentally gave up smoking. I was cut down, didn't even think about it. I was enjoying the flavour of the vape that I had, and I went from 25 to 30 a day down to 10 a day, and then I had a day when I went, I'm going out for the morning. Woke up, August the 1st, smoked one cigarette, went, I'll have another one when I get back home. Ended up having lunch out, stayed out for the afternoon, and I relied entirely on my vape until we got back at 8 o'clock. And I thought, hang on, I've just done a whole bunch of hours. I've done most of the day without it, and I haven't had another cigarette since. So in a few days, I will hit 3 years smoke-free.
Awesome. And you know something? That's kind of similar how I ended up doing. When I got, I've told this story many, many, many times. I never got a vape to stop smoking. It was literally the smoking ban had just started, and obviously in the hotel that we were at, obviously you had to go outside for a cigarette, and to go outside and come back to where our room was, it was taking roughly about 10-15 minutes to get there. So by the time you'd had a cigarette downstairs and gone back up to the room, you were ready for another cigarette. So that's how I accidentally fell into vaping, not by wanting to quit smoking at all. And it sounds very similar to, I just all of a sudden ended up being on permanently without realising it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, mine was more of a conscious effort, but I still remember the day where you suddenly realise you've gone a day without a fag. That is a weird day.
Out of curiosity, was you a roll-up smoker or was you a tailor-made?
Roll-ups.
Knew you were.
Yeah.
For some strange reason, I've always said this, that people that smoke roll-ups tend to go towards vaping a lot easier than people that were tailor-made. Not so much now with these disposables, but the original way of vaping, where you had to concentrate on your coils and mods and ohms and all that lot.
Yeah.
And while we're here, we've got a few more joined us. Grateful Ants, good evening. Dark Spawn, good evening. Dave, bless you. TSP is with us.
Dude, hope you're all right. How's your
fabulous.
computer? And well, you said your computer wasn't very well. Hope it's a bit better.
I did say Grateful Ant, didn't I? Yes. You'll have to bear with. Not a lot of sleep last night, so. Oh, CCC Gaming, good evening.
What's up?
Yeah, I mean, that first sort of day is a bit of a revelation because all of a sudden, all you can taste is whatever you started vaping. I mean, mine was a mango. It was a pretty vile one. But I remember thinking, I don't smell like back-ended dog. Yeah, I smell fruity. This is fabulous.
Yeah, but do you know what I found? The actual smell of cigarettes, and it was that, not the actual somebody smoking a cigarette, it's that after smell.
Yeah.
You know, like stale beer on someone, it's that smell of a cigarette on someone. Oh, that just gets me. It gets me even more now. I mean, I'm not one of these anti-smoking people by any means of the imagination, but it's so like that smell does so like, God, did I smell like that? I mean, I always remember probably about a year after I'd completely into my vapes, and I turned around because Jan doesn't smoke, she don't vape at all ever, she never has done, and it's so like I turned around to her and I said, Jan, honestly, I am so sorry that I put you through that, because you don't smell it on yourself at all. You just have a cigarette and that's it, done. But whoa, yeah.
I remember finding rags that I'd had in back at car, when I was smoking. And even when they'd been sat in cupboard for a while, and you said, bloody hell.
I tell you one thing, another smell that I don't like. You know when you half nibbed a cigarette?
Yeah.
Oh, don't that stink? Oh, you just don't realise how bad that actually smells when you half nipped your cigarette. Oh boy, nah. I couldn't go back to smoking cigarettes.
Bennett, CC, started vaping on Han Seng Vanilla, 30mg freebase, 11 years ago.
Awesome, CC. Yeah, I'm 11 years. Coming up to 12 years.
Dear Lord. Mr. Meek says, me and the missus are celebrating 3 years of binning combustibles for vaping. 40 years of cigarettes. To be honest, we went all out and got loads of flavours and some good gear. Careful, Michael, that has a completely
got some
different
good gear
meaning.
in, mate. Nice one.
What do you fancy, vape or the gear?
Oh, the gear. Yeah, got some right gear here, mate.
But going back to the prototype, the one thing I noticed when we held it at Expo, it's so tactile. It just feels classy. And because you've got brass against the wood, it's just gorgeous.
I've always had something about a wood mod. I mean, the first mod, my proper mech first, was me touchwood. And that is a wood. And it's just the feel, that tactile feel of wood and brass. It is just lovely.
Yeah.
And I do miss it because I haven't got one at the moment. I will be having words.
That sounds like he owes you money.
We'll be bringing the boys round. But yeah, there is something about wood. I think it's just that organic. There is a feel to wood.
I like it. I enjoy woodworking, and yeah, I just think something like this, you can make it so ergonomic and so tactile, and particularly with having two different types.
Yeah,
of wood.
I liked how you got two different woods. What woods are they?
I am fairly sure that it's beech on the top and mahogany on the bottom. I can't be 100% certain because I tend to get all my wood from a recycling plant.
Oh, that's good.
So.
Oh wow!
Because I thought the bottom looked a bit like Sapitia.
Possibly. I was told it was mahogany, and before I oiled it, it was more mahogany-like in colour. But I do use oil to treat them before I varnish.
Yeah.
Which darkens everything down a little bit.
Evening Flame.
Because I know a little bit, because obviously I haven't made them for a long time, but I used to make cigar box guitars, so always had to have hardwood necks. So, and that I used to love playing with them.
I had a friend that used to turn bare walnut into bowls.
Oh yeah.
And it was, I mean, his favourite game was to see how thin he could get the lip on the bowl. And he was starting to get it to the point whereas if you put a light bulb inside it, you could have used it as a lampshade. It was fab.
I watch a lot on YouTube. You know the ones where they mix the wood and the resin?
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, some of them resin ones, they look like glass once they've polished them up, and especially with the wood as well in between them.
It's the big tables where they're using oak or something like that, and then they've got the resin in between. And
yeah, those big
I was watching
tables.
one the other day. A Gad did it with guitar. Made a Telecaster. 2 pieces of wood on either side, and in the middle was the resin. But obviously it was like bare wood. And that really did look nice.
not affect the resonance, sir?
I'm sure it would.
Intriguing.
But
Questions
you've
we
got,
need
you've got
answered.
to remember, it's an electric guitar. The electric guitar doesn't... it's not its main component of the actual resonation of the actual body to make the sound. It's the pickups.
Yeah, but I mean, if you build the body from duff material, surely it will.
Oh yeah, it does affect it. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, it does affect it. But whereas an acoustic guitar uses the actual wood to resonate the sound, an electric guitar uses pickups.
Smarty pants.
It's alright, I'm getting back into my guitars again. I'm sorry.
I know you are, son. How's the hands? Are they all horny and?
Oh, they're getting the calluses are back. Yes, I could put cigarettes out on them now and not feel them. Yeah. I was sat there busy on my acoustic. My acoustic's a little bit wider neck than what I'm used to because I've only got little hands. So I always use my acoustic to play big chords or stretching chords because it is a bit harder to do, just to make sure I practice doing all that kind of stuff. Not that stuff, but that stuff.
Stop it. So,
That's what Jan said.
obviously you enjoy making mods with wood because it brings the hobby in and all the rest of it. You ever thought about stabilised?
Yes, I have thought about it. I have looked at the price of the blocks of stab wood, and it is something I'm going to do at some point. I don't have a lot of spare cash to invest. So kind of when I get to a point where I sell some bits and I've got enough sitting there, there will be a block of stabilized wood at some point in my future. There will also at some point be a big bottle of cactus juice in my future, which is the stuff you use to make stabilized wood.
Yeah, because isn't it done under... I'm not 100%. It's done under pressure, isn't it?
It's done under a vacuum, so you submerge the wood, use a vacuum to draw all the air out so that it soaks all the way in, and then you cook it, and then you've got your block of stab wood.
When you say you cook it, is that like making white sauce?
No, it's actually sticking it in the oven. So,
it's a very similar process.
Because I've looked on the internet for stabilised wood, and that ain't cheap.
No,
it is not.
I mean, I don't know how long. I mean, obviously it depends on what size of piece of wood it is, but approximately how long is the process? Is it over a long period of time?
From the research I've done, I've never actually done it. I've done the research into it, and once you've got all the equipment, leaving it for about 24 hours to soak up for small pieces, and then it's got to be cooked for a few hours, and then a lot of the stab wood in the mods that we get and a lot of the blocks that you buy is usually a mix of stab wood and resin. So you'll see quite often the edges of the piece of wood and then a resin fill. That is a different type of resin that has to then be done separately, which is another kind of, once you've got the original piece stabilized, adding any resin fills is another 24 hours of curing time for the resin. I mean, I've done sort of resin fills on some of the stands and things that I've done, and it's not the most taxing process, but it takes time to set up to make sure you don't leak all your resin everywhere, and then it's curing time and controlling temperatures. And
besides obviously the looks and things like that, what's the benefit of actually having stab wood compared to like traditional hardwood?
All the spaces in the piece of wood that usually absorb moisture and expand and contract are filled with resin once you stabilize it. So it is completely stable. It won't shrink, it won't grow, it won't absorb any moisture. If you spill something on it, it's not going to soak in. So it's making it so that it is absolutely stable. It's not going to expand and contract. It's not going to crack, because every available space in there, when it's done correctly, will be filled with resin.
We're back to the white sauce again.
We're
back to the white sauce again. Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense, because I mean, even if you oil the wood, you spill juice on it, it's going to affect it. The very fact that you are vaping is heating the wood up. So after a while, you are going to get cracks. You are going to get damage.
Yeah, this is why on my mods, I always oil, because that does soak deeper in. And then I use a varnish over the top, seal it, which I apply in several stages. When I do a mod, it has had at least 7 individual applications, and some of them have had a lot more than that, because sometimes you get a particularly dry spot in the wood that absorbs a lot. So it's, watering it down, getting careful coats to make sure that the whole thing is as sealed as it is possible to get without actually going to the extent of stabilizing it.
Yeah, but I mean that's a lot of time and effort, that, because obviously after every coat, obviously you sand it, apply another coat, sand it, apply another. So yeah, there's a lot of labour intensive.
Yes, yeah, and it's working down through grits as well. So I'll start with sanding, then I'll move to wire wool, then I'll move to like a Scotch-Brite pad.
Mm.
Yeah.
So each stage it's working down through the grits and getting it finer and finer to produce the best coat that I can.
One of my many jobs used to be as a finisher in a pine factory. So if we were doing an undistressed, because at the time Shabby Chic was in, so we used to do a lot of spray coated furniture, and then you distressed it. And there was a lot of using Scotch-Brite pads and things because you didn't want to actually remove any wood. You just wanted to take the paint away, and then we'd stain it to make it look like you got dirt in the corners. But it's amazing the polish, the shine you can get on wood with just wax, steel wool, and working it down to the pad.
When I was doing the guitar necks, I used to use gun oil. Literally proper gun oil, and that used to be like 5 or 6 coats, and that's just the oil, just so it'll soak in.
And I find it interesting what Paul was saying about the different spots of mud. Obviously, it's an organic material. Bruce used to go mental, especially when he was using the burr walnut, because it's expensive anyway, to get the stuff. But it wouldn't take much on the finishing. Too much oil in one spot and you've ruined that whole thing. And he's spent hours getting this to just how he wanted it.
See you, Spawn. Take care, buddy.
Later, Spawn. So obviously you enjoy your woodwork.
Yep.
Well, anything you were doing before you were making mods? I mean, have we gone from sort of ladles and...
I was doing all sorts of things. Started into the woodwork when my wife wanted a wooden garden table, and wooden garden tables are expensive.
Yeah.
And I found that I could get some stud timbers really cheap, and I made a wooden garden table, which I think was about 7 or 8 years ago, and it's still in my garden. And I made planters and done custom shelving, and I have done all sorts of other woodworking projects. But that did lead on to making the mods and the stands, which I thoroughly enjoy.
It's a bit of a scale difference, though, isn't it? I mean,
yes.
I know when we used to work on the monastery tables, the big, for those that aren't sure what a monastery table is, like a big refractory table. So you've got a plank top, you've got, Christ, I think there were 2x3s underneath, and you've got your jointed legs going into that, and by the time you're finished, it looks like something from the 18th century because it's just huge. You're going for that rustic look. You're not going for IKEA smooth.
Oh, that proper farmhouse kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the proper ones.
And if we oiled it and waxed it, you used to get a fantastic finish. But the nicest one we did was a dark stain, and it almost looked like aged oak. You know how oak goes really dark when it's been sat there for ages? I mean, that took us weeks, but by God, it was worth it. It was beautiful.
There used to be a place in Matlock that used to do bespoke furniture in wood, and I always remember in the front window they used to have a king size bed, and it was virtually made out of what looked like sleepers, and that was gorgeous. The wood on that was beautiful. I mean, don't get me wrong, it were a few grand the actual bed, but so worth it.
Your ankles aren't going to scratch that.
Oh God, no. Jeep, no. Oh no. I mean, they was lumps of wood. I think they was so like, they've got to have been 4x4s at least. Just for, you know, your side posts and the whole thing. Honestly.
I don't know. I mean,
there is a request in chat for seeing a stand. I do
thank you, love.
have a couple of bits. I've got one of the build stands, my one that I use all the time with the battery spaces. I also do big storage stands.
Oh, that's nice.
Which store pretty much everything. I've done a few bits like that with custom orders for mod stands, juice stands, battery stands. So,
but I mean, that's the thing with vaping. Nearly everything's either plastic, carbon fibre, or metal. So just breaking it up with just a little bit of something organic just makes so much difference.
It does really make a difference, I think.
And especially if you've got brass, you know, a brass tube. You can't beat wood with brass. Just love those. You know, I like the
the
battle axe.
stainless steel tubes are more popular.
Really?
Really?
People are asking for stainless steel hardware than brass. Personally, I like the brass. That's why I went with the brass tube the first time round. And when I do my own larger one, that will be with a brass tube. But yeah, anytime
I
I
think
make
brass
any,
looks very steampunky though, doesn't it? It
Especially
looks
with the
more old, that oldie worldy kind of look, whereas stainless steel's very cold and modern.
yeah,
Or is that just me?
oh, I definitely see where you're coming from. Like I say, I like the brass features on it, but a lot of people want the stainless steel. Right.
No, I would definitely not go for stainless steel. I think I'm the same as you guys. I like that almost Victorian style of engineering. I like that look, and I think especially with brass and wood, it seems to kind of go.
It does. It's almost like you're picking up on the tonals from the wood into that yellowy of the brass, and especially when you get a nice patina on it. Yeah.
I'll never get that.
No, because you sweat acid, you alien freak.
I was using my keen. I'd saved my keen, honestly. I'd saved my keen and I'd left it, and it patinaed gorgeous. There was actual purples in it and all sorts. And I ended up using it because I was using it with me me steam pump, you know, your steam crave pump, because obviously it's 30mm. And within 2 days, it was shiny again.
He's the only bloke I know that can hold a mod and it goes shiny. It's just not right.
I just don't understand how I can do it. I ain't got a clue. Now, normally, if you touch copper, it's supposed to tarnish when you touch it. No, I'm shiny.
See, I'd go with Billy. I think the hobby's in me. Stainless steel's nice if you're feeling lazy. But brass, there's something about doing the Sunday strip down, the polish, just putting a bit of effort into it. It's so nice.
I think it's why I still love my mechs. I mean, you know, there is something about having a mech and an RDA. I think it's like I was saying before, because I used to smoke roll-ups, it's that kind of, you're doing something with your hands, and I think it's very therapeutic, especially building coils and things like that. Building and making sure it's all neat and tidy. And I don't know, it just chills me out doing that. You've got 5-10 minutes on your own, putting a coil in, wicking it up, making sure it's all neat and tidy, and da-da-da. And I think it just gives you that bit of peace and quiet.
What's this neat and tidy you speak of?
Well,
what is this neat and tidy you speak of?
it's called neat and tidy, as you are.
Dear boy, if it doesn't short, and it chucks out some clouds, that's fine by me.
We're not all the same. It would be boring if we were.
I do actually think it's part of addiction. We form habits and we form rituals. And as smokers, I know certainly as a smoker, I had my thing where I'd sit each evening, roll my cigarettes, put them into a case, ready for the next day. And the way I've gone into vaping, I've kind of replaced that. I get home from work, I take the batteries out of my work mods, put them on charge, get whatever mod out I'm using that evening. I've established essentially a ritual to replace the ritual I had when I was smoking. I don't know that that's the same for everyone.
Flame, you speak for yourself, mate. I've never got anal with my rebuild. No, to be fair, I think that's the one to, especially if I'm not giving the battle axe any love for a while, just giving it a nice polish on a Sunday, getting the mothers out and just watching that sheen come up.
What about your mods?
Stop it. See, snus. No, so I'm intrigued by snus because obviously we've seen those pouches, and those of us that were at Expo that year were the pouches that tried to kill us. I didn't call you a battle axe, darling.
I think you did.
I didn't. I was talking about my mod. I wasn't talking about my good lady. I'm not that brave.
I'm going to say, I didn't think you were that brave, but there you go. I've never tried snus. I think it's because, is it illegal in this country?
Yes, you're not allowed to at the minute.
I know you could buy snuff.
Different stuff though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but that's the closest thing that we could ever get to it. So I think shoving a tea bag in my gob is not exactly the same as having a vape or a cigarette, really.
This is what I'm saying. The snus, the pouches, I don't think are similar to the. I know you can get it in the little pouches, but the actual makeup of it is completely different, isn't it? Still tobacco and not compostable, but contains different chemicals, mercury being one of them. No!
Really?
Dear Lord, Nels.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's crazy. Those little pouch things that everybody tried at Expo.
Oh, them vaping ones. But that was just basically e-liquid in a pouch, wasn't it? That wasn't the snus that these are using. That snus is the proper stuff.
That's the proper, yeah.
That's a proper tea bag.
We tried at Expo. The range of reactions that people had, from mild tingling to bloody hell, get it out now. It was incredible. You can get snus in the UK. I have some low strength ones, but I'll be using next week. I didn't think you could get it.
I didn't know you could get proper snus. But to be brutally honest, I've never gone out and looked for it.
Well, it always put me off because I remember my granddad's Anki after he took his snuff. He always had the medicated in the blue tin.
Another thing that's never really, I've thought, I might try that, is chewing tobacco as well.
No. I've never fancied chew.
No, I don't want to be carrying a spittoon with me every type thing. No. Nobody got time for that.
To be fair, though, again, I'm going to mention TikTok, slap for my wrist. But there was a lovely clip from what was the comedy show where they used to improvise everything. It was on TV. Started off in America and then came across to England.
I'll keep on thinking, have I got news for you?
Whose line is it anyway?
Yeah,
That's
whose
the
line
one.
is it anyway?
And there was a lovely scene from that where they had the redneck version of famous films and just left it at that. And the one for Taken was just awesome. I reckon I've got some skills. You don't mess with my kinfolk.
Yes, like
I
it.
was absolutely pissing myself.
Well, see, I don't even know if you can buy that in this country. Can you buy chewing tobacco in this country?
I don't know. What? I don't know. No, I've never seen it. I mean, I've seen the stuff you used to get in the yellow pouch, which was desiccated, which was coconut, wasn't it? The sweet stuff. I've never seen proper, because you buy it, you can get it in rolls, can't you?
Yeah.
You literally just cut a chunk off.
And then you talk to your kinfolk.
Don't.
No. So yeah, snus is a very unusual. I mean, saying that, the NNA, they promote it, don't they? Really, it's slightly better than actually having a cigarette. Sorry, he's in deep in thought.
No. I'm just looking now. Bill's saying he's got a Velo Cappuccino, Nordic Spirit Elderflower, which is very nice, and another one. And another one that's got me intrigued. You can get a free tub from their website. Almost said Helen and Harvey. It was Stan and Harvey. One of them was British, the skinny long one. Swedish kids were allowed to use snus in schools in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah. That's another favourite one that from whose line is it anyway? Things you say to your you can say to your wife and also your dog. And there's one bit in it where the comedian's going, "Do I have to rub your nose in it?" Come. Absolutely brilliant. So, Paul, imagine the scene. Your 6 numbers have come up. Money is no object. You have in front of you a timber store. Is there a dream material, a dream wood that you would like to make anything with? Forget the mod. Anything.
I can't think of anything that I would be super desperate to try in terms of a particular piece of wood or anything like that. I think if I was in a position where money didn't matter, I would be investing in a very large vacuum chamber and a lot of resin and jumping feet first into making stab wood. And
making more money.
Well, hopefully.
If he wins the lotto, he owns the store. Fair point, well made. All right, stupid question. Yeah. No, I mean, I just know, like I say, my mate that used to make the walnut, there was certain hardwoods from Brazil and things like that he'd heard about, but he'd never seen or worked with.
I'm going to make a piece of oak out of the Mary Rose. I'm going to nick a chunk off it.
There are certain woods that I would like to get my hands on at some point. I would love to try doing a design similar to this with ebony and purple heartwood.
Oh, yeah.
I think potentially that could look absolutely amazing. The burl woods are very, very nice to look at, but they are that bit more difficult to work. So, at some stage I will find some pieces and do some bits with burl woods, but
You can make a mod out of platinum.
Saying the
does
guy
woodwork.
that, I mean, I don't even know if he exists anymore, but me Touchwood, they used to be made out of old railway sleepers from Australia.
yeah. I've managed to get a section of sleeper, and I've done a couple of stands out of old railway sleeper. But yeah, it's kind of what I can get my hands on, reasonably priced.
I think going down the recycled route's always good anyway, because obviously you're only dealing with small pieces of wood anyway, which is kind of a lucky thing. Wow.
The brass bed is amongst us. Julie!
Wow! Huggles!
Bubbles!
God, you finally got unchained from the bed. Bless your heart. Good to see you.
It's lovely seeing you, Julie.
It's been a while.
Well, we're not there at Wake Up anymore.
Well, that's true, yes.
See, what Paul's on about, the thing I'm loving is the upcycling side of it. I really love that. Because obviously with the disposables and all the rest of it, the way the industry's gone at the minute, and it's, make chuck. I love the idea that you can turn something that was once something else into a vape mod. I could get excited about that.
Yeah.
Which is very sad.
It's that top piece, that piece of beech, was actually from a Yamaha guitar that somebody had dropped and split, and it was in a stack of stuff to go to a skip, and that was my work. And I said, well, can I just take that? Oh, yeah, whatever. It's rubbish. It's going in the bin. So that particular piece was from a guitar that had been smashed. So
one careful owner, Joe Strummer. No, I mean, what a fab idea.
I think it's great. It's great that things can be reused like that.
Mm.
I mean, I always remember people getting, especially guitar necks and things like that. Old churches that got demolished, and the oak timbers, they would use them. Oak benches and things like that. That people were literally just going to sling, and they would use them for making guitar necks and guitar bodies.
Yeah. I've actually got the neck of the guitar that piece came from. It's actually sitting in my workshop at work, and it is my intention at some point to turn that into a stand, an Atty stand, and put the threaded 510 inserts in and make a nice long Atty stand out of that. But it's just about getting around to it. Other things keep cropping up, but yeah, that guitar neck is sitting there.
Welcome to real life.
But it's frightening the amount of good wood that gets put to disposal. It really is. You go to a waste, refuge centre around here, the amount of wood that's getting thrown away, good wood, is frightening.
Julie, never the channel hoe. No, always the queen.
Definitely not.
Bless you. No, I mean, you were saying about, obviously, we were chatting before we came on camera. You were saying about you've had to start putting MOSFETs in?
Yes. finding buttons that will reliably handle the amount of power that will take the current is an issue. One of the first mods that I made worked fine when I made it, tested it, sent it out. The person used it a couple of times, and then the button failed. So I did some testing. I wired up a couple more buttons from that batch, and they failed eventually. This one is the same style of button, but I only use my MTL tank on this one. So that's a 1 ohm coil. But I've never had a problem with this one.
45 amps? Most of them go up to, and that's it.
I think it varies greatly. I've looked across various options, but yeah, a lot of them are actually quite low powered because most buttons nowadays aren't designed to handle direct transfer of power.
Because there was
most things.
I remember when, like back in the day when making a standard box mod out of a whatchamacallit, oh, my brain won't work, like an hexohm box. I'm trying to Hammond, that's it, Hammond boxes. There was a big 2014, 2015, there was a big surge of people making that type of mod. They used very, very similar to a Hammond box or something on them lines, and it was always that was the failure. They would last X amount of time with the button that was installed, and then obviously MOSFETs came into it later on. But I've got quite a few still old mechs that hasn't got a MOSFET in, and it's like you just modern day vaping, you just daren't put them on top of that. No way, they just blow.
Yeah, there's.
Have you thought about going down the mechanical route?
Yes, that is something that I'm looking at. I am going to build a skunk mod at some point, which I will be doing with.
I could always send you a touchwood to give you an idea of design.
Yeah, I mean I've got the design kind of figured out. I know how to route it and how to do it with copper strips. I've got some pieces of copper. It's just kind of, again, time. It's
He's getting into it. Yeah, because the touchwood that I've got, that is literally a plunger mech switch basically, and it's just a spring. And obviously it makes the connection to the base, because the base actually was copper. Your top was copper. And obviously it just literally plunges down to make that actual connection. Very, very simple, but really effective.
Yeah, the design I'm planning on going for, I'm literally just going to put a copper strip that's going to go around, and the button's just going to be drilled out, and effectively a wooden mushroom.
Yeah.
Fitted in just to push the copper against the 510.
So you're going down the route like a clutch would be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because basically the clutch is basically how modern squonkers, or the precursor to obviously your topside type of mech design, is very, very simple L shape, isn't it? Just to complete the circuit. I think doing it that way would actually save you a lot of problems with MOSFETs and things like that, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yeah. It will be an easier way to do it. I'll say at the moment, I'm loving doing this, and I'm still getting people coming to me asking for ones built like this, which it doesn't favour using an actual mechanical contact with this shape. But,
can't you get buttons with MOSFETs already pre-built in them?
Yes, you can get click FETs. The cost of them, it's cheaper to buy a MOSFET and a button and wire it up
Hmm.
than most of the click fets, and they would then require the extra stage of having to make an actuator cap, because most of them are a micro switch on a circuit board.
Hmm.
So you need the actual button element, the piece to press,
All right.
to go into it.
So they're not an actual button, as I would say button.
I think those are out there. They seem to be quite difficult to find. I have seen wiring diagrams for them. I've seen pictures of them. I haven't found anywhere with them in stock when I have looked. Because I did think that would be a neater way of going about it. Had a bit of a look, didn't find anywhere stocking those that were built in, or that stated that they could handle the kind of amps we're pulling through it.
Yeah.
The couple that I did find on some of the Chinese sites were saying that they could handle 5 amps. That's not a lot good if you're going to put it onto something where somebody sticks a 007 build on there. You're going to end up blowing it.
Why do people make 00 build?
No.
Do they? I'm shocked.
We're into the last half hour, and we've done lots and lots of vapey stuff. Let's have some quick fire questions. So, Paul, favourite film?
Really don't know.
Okay.
That changes every day.
Good man. Any particular genre that you prefer?
Mostly science fiction, to be fair. I think the best ones out there are science fiction.
What are you watching at the moment then?
At the moment, what I have been watching is Shameless. I skipped Shameless when it was first out, and yeah, all my Netflix viewing recently has been binge watching through the UK version of Shameless.
The far better one.
I have
Purely for
heard
the
that.
ironing board. For those that watch Shameless, you know what we're on about. Favourite band?
Again, varies.
You say Duran Duran, I'll be disappointed.
No, I'm more in the Maiden, early Guns N'
Wham.
Roses. No, not so much into Wham. Obituary,
Aw.
Cradle of Filth, Metallica.
Good man.
Represent.
Yeah.
Well, it kills me how obviously Stranger Things, Master of Puppets, boom, in your face. Yeah, it's bloody everywhere. Well, but this lot when it first came out.
There was a good meme on Facebook the other day with that, and it was a picture of a bunch of girls dancing. It was like, and then underneath it was, girls all doing this lot, and it's sort of like 1980 girls listening to Metallica, and then underneath the modern day girls listening to Metallica. It's sort of like, yeah, it's about right.
It is. Right. So,
I envy them as well, and I know it sounds daft. I mean, I grew up with Metallica. I mean, I remember the original Metallica when they first came out. It's sort of like that experience of listening to Metallica for the first time. It's sort of like, I do envy them.
Ride the Lightning, my first ever.
First ever, Kill 'Em All.
Mm.
Right at the beginning,
Hell.
yeah.
I still remember the hoo-ha when Dave Mustaine appeared with Megadeth.
Mm.
Oh, that split the camp.
Oh, didn't it just?
And saying that though, my daughter is a huge Megadeth and Metallica fan. So I did
Oh,
something.
back in the day, you was in one camp or the other.
Oh, you were. You didn't like both.
It was like Iron Maiden and AC/DC. You was in one camp or the other. And I struggled with that one because I'm a big AC/DC fan, but I do like Iron Maiden as well.
So, Paul, favourite Maiden album?
Probably Number of the Beast.
Oh, good choice.
Yes.
Good choice. Diano or Dickinson?
Dickinson.
Yeah.
Good man. Speaking of which, have you read his autobiography?
No, I haven't yet. I have it upstairs. I just haven't read it yet.
Treat yourself, mate. Turn off the phone. Turn off everything. I listened to it first on audiobook and then bought it book. The book is awesome. The audiobook, yes, Bruce narrates it and you get all the inflection with it, but there's something about paper, and I'm just old. So
there's nothing wrong with parchment.
Well, it's weird. We've gone from scrolls to books, and now we're back to scrolling bloody books. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Ridiculous. No, I'm intrigued on that one because what I find with friends who are Maiden fans, you have what you would deem the hardcore, which sort of go Peace of Mind, possibly Power Slave, but anything beyond that, the start sort of.
I did like Seventh Son of Seventh Son.
Seventh Son of Seventh Son. I love Seventh Son of Seventh Son.
What was the live album? The double live album?
Live After Death.
Yeah, I played that to death. That.
I think we all did just for the Aces High intro.
But I've got to admit, Number of the Beast is one of my favourite albums.
See, I always think Phantom of the Opera is, Phantom of the Opera. What was it? Shit. I'm trying to think the name of the track. Lucasade advert. It's not Phantom.
Wasn't a fan of Fear of the Dark. I didn't mind it.
I did actually really enjoy Fear of the Dark.
I didn't mind it, but
See, Dance of Death and those just left me cold.
what was the one before that with Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter? The only time they got to number one.
Yeah, that was actually what I wanted for my wedding song, but the wife put her foot down.
Oh, it was Phantom of the Opera. I still thought. Thank you, Bill. I was trying to make it Rothschild.
I'm trying to think, what was the album?
It was the one with the tank on, wasn't it? Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. Oh no. Or was it the one with Cyber Eddie?
No. Cyber Eddie was Somewhere in Time.
Yeah.
Because it's got a song called Mother Russia on it, and that is absolutely brilliant.
Well, he's a local lad, isn't he, Dickinson?
Yeah, he's only lives from round corner from us, works up.
Manton.
Yeah, in Manton.
Aye. There we are. It is on No Prayer for the Dying.
That's it. And I played that album to death as well. That was a really good album.
Never got into that.
It was the only time that they went to number one. I think it was New Year's Day or something daft like that. Number one they were.
Rhyming the Ancient Mariner. Now that is a classic.
Yeah. But saying that, the simplest of ones, Run to the Hills. That intro for that, you just can't help but you know that is.
22 Acacia Avenue. Oh, bless you. Good evening, Mike Haynes. How you doing? Matt Chandler, you legend, sir. In my day, it was stone tablets. See, Diano, no, not when you compare him to Dickinson. I mean, I like Dickinson when he was with Samson, so.
I like Dickinson.
Mm.
I even
Hello,
didn't mind
Pete
his, what
Daniel.
was it, Millionaire Tattooist or something, his album, his
Tattoo
solo album.
Millionaire.
Yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
mind that either.
See, that was good. Dive, dive, dive was better. Any chorus that starts, no more too tough, we dive at 5, yes. So, Magnum, yes or no, Paul?
No.
No.
Yeah, I was a Magnum fan. Got to admit.
What about prog rock?
I don't know. There's some stuff, yeah. Some stuff, no. I tend to be pretty eclectic
Yeah.
in my listening, but
I've got a question for you, Paul.
um,
Right.
Was it you?
Fresh-faced person comes to you. What band would you introduce them to first? What is your love? So like, you have got to listen to this album.
I would probably say something early Offspring.
Oh, good
You
choice.
heard it? Definitely something pre-Americana.
Ixnay,
Ixnay, yes, or Smash.
Smash is just a classic, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come out and play. I mean, Jesus. I remember finding the hidden track at the end of Smash, and I was like, yes! I never had you down for an Offspring.
Joker, ain't that 12 gold bars? Ain't that blooming status quo?
It is.
Gijing, 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 gijing.
Floyd. See, Dawn does love Floyd.
Oh, God, yeah.
I must admit, I bought myself one of those Amazon Dots, but not the hockey puck, the round one. The sound quality out of those babies. But you stick Floyd on at night with that on in a dark room. Oh,
I got my Amazon, the one that size, and I'm well impressed with that. The sound quality of that is unbelievable.
it's
what it is.
ridiculous.
If you're going to do Floyd, it's got to be headphones. Or a decent enough stereo system with decent far apart speakers. The use of the stereo effects in there.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, God, can I ask you that question? Because that's a good question. What album would it be for you then, Mark?
Sorry?
What album would it be for you?
Ooh. It would be one at Floyd's.
Yeah?
Yeah, oh, definitely. If some green-eyed person came to me and said, come on, show me something, especially that you're passionate about, it would be a Floyd album.
Mine would be Marillion, Script for a Jester's Tear.
That is a damn good album.
Or Fugazi. It would be a toss-up between either one of those.
Yeah.
I do love my Marillion.
Saying that, I used to like Clutching at Straws.
Great. Sugar Mice, can't fault it.
Yeah. Clutching at Straws was sort of like the one that I played a lot of.
See, Misplaced Childhood was my guilty pleasure, and the only thing that buggered it for me was Lavender. Why they put that sodding track on, I will never know. But never. Oh, Interstellar Overdrive.
Yeah. Ironically, I was only playing that the other day on my guitar. Well, a version of it, should I say.
See, I still like the bicycle song for Floyd.
I love the bicycle song.
It's just one of those, I'm stoned and I don't care, I'm writing a song.
I think that's what I love about Pink Floyd, is because they are so different. You had the Syd Barrett era, and the Syd Barrett era has got its complete and utter own sound. Nick Mason, at the present moment, he's formed a band called Saucer Full of Secrets. And all they're doing is the early Pink Floyd stuff, the Syd Barrett stuff. And honestly, bringing it up to a modern day sound, it still sounds fantastic. I mean, I was well impressed that they played that on Doctor Strange.
Well, yeah.
I thought, yeah, get in. Because it's not often you hear a Syd Barrett. You'll hear a Pink Floyd, but you'll not hear a Syd Barrett Pink Floyd.
Fax has just thrown a very interesting bomb into the room there. Levelling the land.
Mm-hmm.
The levelers, highly underrated.
I like the levelers.
Paul, you were...
Not really. Kind of missed that one, to be honest.
Well, he's so much younger than us, you can tell. No, I mean, God, levelers. Nearly Young with Crazy Horse, live.
Adam, love you. Bit of clutch. Can't beat a bit of clutch.
I've still not got into them. I don't know what it is. It's just something's not clicking. And I don't know why. I want to. You know when you listen to something and you really want to enjoy it? Because you listen to a lot of stuff very similar to it. But something just doesn't click. And I don't know what it is.
See, I was never a fan, Andy. Gary Moore.
Thin Lizzy, yes. Gary Moore,
even Thin...
no.
Thin Lizzy, don't get me wrong, I respect the guy completely with what he did. But no, he just never did out for me.
See, I like Thin Lizzy. I mean, Whiskey in the Jar.
Oh, that just kind of grates on me. It really does. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. We're all different.
I mean, totally. That's
how Bros got rich and famous. I mean, Phil Lynott did have a lovely set of warblers on him.
I think the last time I saw anything that he did was "Wish You a Merry Christmas" on Top at Pops, and no.
Adam says, to be fair, Mark, I would have to introduce someone to Mississippi Bones.
Yeah, Mississippi Bones. If you like Kurt Clutch, you'll definitely like them.
Mark is wrong. Punch up. See, Blackstone.
I will open the floodgates. Prove me wrong.
Blackstone Cherry's first album.
Yeah?
That's something a little special.
Another special one, Black Crows.
Shake Your Money Maker.
You gotta have that one in.
Oh, hell yeah, because I've never met anybody yet that didn't start shuffling. And that fires up. How to Handle. You catch him by surprise with How to Handle. And the foot starts going.
I've still got that on picture disc. Just there. So do you collect vinyl, or you're a CD man or a downloader?
I download now. I have a huge stack of CDs. I've ripped most of them onto a server, and I can access them anywhere in the house. It's just that much easier. Did do the vinyl thing for a little while. Too easy to get damaged, especially when my kids were younger. Got rid of all my vinyl and went to CD, and then went to digital.
Yeah, I think most of it. I still get, if I can get the album, I will do on vinyl. But yeah, I listen to streaming most of the time. I think most people do.
See, there's only one set of albums I want on vinyl. The Dogs. From, oh God, what was the first? Dynamite Jet Saloon. All the way up to Graveyard and Bottle.
Uggles, Betty. Uggles for Betty.
Betty! Hello, strumpets. We're not the ones that have been hanging around with men in leather. Unfaithful bitch. Bless. Hope you had a good night, mate.
Well, I've been listening to 2 non-rock bands over the last couple of weeks. One is called Wet Leg,
All right.
and the other one is First Aid Kit? Yeah, First Aid Kit. The First Aid Kit is 2, I think, the Norwegian girls. It's that folky country type music. Almost
like
got a bit of
Indigo
Alana Del Rey kind of sounding to them. And the Wet Legs, they are just weird. They're very, reminds me of early White Stripesy kind of vibe to them.
Oh, you were talking about it.
If you get a chance to listen to a song called Chaise Long, interesting. Weird and interesting. And I like that.
Oh, Hawkwind, Hall of the Mountain King. Ah. Yes.
Yes, Matt Haynes, I agree with you on that one. They have some really good tracks and some not so good tracks. But I'm going through them at the present moment.
See, Indigo Girls were the same.
But if it wasn't for the Umbrella Academy, I wouldn't have heard of them.
It's amazing how some of these Netflix shows, there's some stuff coming up on soundtracks that I haven't heard in years. And for some reason, that's leading me to finding all sorts. It's fantastic. No LSD, don't worry. You mean you're not stripping off naked and dancing, Matt? I'm disappointed.
Yeah, it is a bit trippy, that Chaise Long. It is, honestly, it's a bit... They're an unusual band.
Excellent. Mine, tell you what I fell back, rediscovered the other day. Shed 7.
Oh, yeah.
They had some crackers.
They're local and all.
Shed 7?
Yeah.
Barnsley or Bradford?
I think they're Kirk Sandalway art.
All right.
Yeah, because there literally was... The guys were... When I was at the potato factory, they were an actual potato factory and they practiced in Shed number 7.
Right.
And that's where Shed 7 comes on. It was a potato farm where they were practicing. Now, I don't know if one of the members is the farmer's son or whatever it was, but I remember it being a potato factory, potato storage place. And they actually practiced in number 7.
Don't you threaten me, Mr. Chandler. Still doing that, Steve. We'll send some footage. So, what time we on?
It is nearly
It's
time.
5 to the hour.
It's nearly time to say our goodbyes.
It
And
is.
that has gone really quick.
Paul, thank you so much for tonight, mate. We haven't
all
done a
right,
vapey one in ages.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Oh, it's been a giggle, and it's really weird. I mean, listening to your story on how you started and what you do now, it's weird how people we all start from the same point. We get into the vape, we find our little niche, and then we all seem to just go whoopee. Oh, I feel sorry for people that just smoke disposable.
You feel sorry for what?
People that just vape disposables.
We need more people like Paul.
We do. More wood.
See, that's one thing I love about the British. We are people, men in sheds, building things.
Yep.
Matt's asking how the tummy is after that jelly thing.
Oh, that was nasty. That was really nasty. That's all I can say. From the moment of cracking it open, the smell is just stunk. And yeah, eating it wasn't much better either. But I did it for a good cause, and the Misfits, I was pleased to do it for them.
Mark, are you a Discworld fan?
I've heard bits and pieces, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I've heard bits and pieces, but not enough, should I say. Would that explain it?
Vindictive, Punk Rock Factory, they make all Disney songs bearable. Me First and the Gimme Gimmes will make anything bearable.
I love the Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. They are ace.
He was a star, Mark.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. Fist bump, mate. Yeah. Did my little bit for charity, you know? Charity.
Nice.
Need a bit charity. Now, let's rock.
Oh, God, no Batman Turner over there. Please. Saying that, quick story before we go. My good lady, we take it in turns to pick the films. She picked this Dross, Nick Cage's new film. Don't.
Which
it's
one?
2 hours. The new one. Is it Outstanding Talent, something like that? It's basically Nick Cage playing Nick Cage.
All right. I saw the one where he was... Were it Nick Cage? No, it was him that did blooming... I've got a certain set of skills.
Oh, Liam Neeson.
Yeah. Nick Cage and Neeson, they do a lot of Amazon films.
Yeah.
Don't bother. They're just shit.
Well, that's what this Nick Cage one was. However, started off with Creedence Clearwater Revival. Haven't heard the track in years. Got me back onto the greatest hits of Clearwater. Oh man, it was awesome. That was an hour of just grooving. I seriously got my funk on in the kitchen.
Right, so well, we've come up to that time, guys. Paul, would you like to say your goodbyes, please?
Goodbye. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It has been a fun evening.
Well, I hope you've had fun, mate. We really do. Because, I mean, it can be a bit disconcerting when you come on, you know, this side of the camera rather than that side of the camera. But I hope you've enjoyed yourself, mate. Thank you, because it's been fascinating.
Thank you.
Thoroughly enjoyed tonight.
Yeah, it's gone so quick.
I know. Shot past. We've got no Betty, have we?
We've got no Betty. I know. It seems weird we are Betty.
It is. It is. What waste of music? Well, yes. Right. Chat, thank you for joining us. Those on the replay, thank you for joining us. It's nearly over. Spanners, thank you for looking after us. You've done a fantastic job. Mr. Chandler, legend. Not watched the replay yet. Will be doing it. Do apologise, but I want to see his face when he swallows that egg. Hopefully Betty will be back with us next week. I'm not playing with those bad boys. Yeah. And I shall hand you back to Mark.
Guys, thank you so much. Paul, it's been absolutely ace having you on. It really has. And I love talking about hands-on material, back to basics, proper man in a shed stuff. I think it's brilliant. And I wish you all the success in your ventures of making mods. I really do. And then them arty stands look really nice as well. Unfortunately, I can't ask you to put anything in the links, but if you wouldn't mind passing on your details, and we'll put that in the Facebook page if that's okay with you. And then obviously people, if they're interested, can get in touch that way. Obviously we can't do it because of YouTube and URLs and all that kind of stuff, as you understand. But yeah, if you'd like to put your information on that like in the Facebook group, that would be fantastic. And again, thank you very much, Steve. As always, love you, bro.
Alec.
Love you, bro. Guys in chat, thank you so much, Spanners. Thank you for looking after the chat. And yeah, we will see you all next week. So from me and the guys, I wish you a wonderful weekend. Don't work too hard in the following week, and we'll see you back here on Thursday, 7:30 as usual. So from me and the guys, bye. Outro.
Bye.
Bye, Fee.
I've just seen Matt's comment. Betty's ass was jacked. I
And
suppose it is
we're
coming.
clear.